Always a rousing moment as we hear the final refrains of the Australian national anthem, and all is set for the first game of this best-of-3 series for the Oceania Cup between Australia and New Zealand. Joining me in commentary this evening is Sean Anderson from Hockey Australia. Sean, and is it a fair call to say this is the start of the road to London for these sides?
Yeah, thanks, Peter. As you said, we've 10 months to go before London. We're not coming down here for a holiday. We really need to get some good results, and it's just great to see a couple of our key players back, particularly Jamie Dwyer, 4-time World Player of the Year, playing his first game for the year after a serious knee injury, and also Mark Knowles. He played about half a game before doing a stretch fracture in his foot. So just the fact that they're at the pitch is actually ill at the moment, to be honest. We've had a pretty hard year of injuries, but as you mentioned, this is really going to kickstart our campaign towards London and also the Champions Trophy in a couple of months' time. So expecting to see a pretty good result and lots of goals, and hopefully everyone at home enjoys it.
Let's hope so. No haka from the Kiwis, but a tight huddle and a big war cry before they break into formation. And all is in readiness. The conditions are certainly chilly. There's been light rain falling through the course of the afternoon, but right now there's no rain actually falling. As New Zealand with possession moving into an attack for the first time, and it'll be interesting to see, Sean, just what sort of formation the Australians use early in this match.
As I said, we've had a pretty a light year. Last year we had a very busy year, won the Champions Trophy, the World Cup and the Commonwealth Games all within 1 year. So the first 6 months of this year have been pretty quiet. This is only our third tournament for the year, so this will be the first time actually being together as a group for a major tournament for quite some time. So yeah, it'll be very interesting.
Australian defence looking nice and solid. Fergus Kavanagh from WA controlling things in the middle of the defence there. And Australia just working their way into attack. But a nice trap there by Andy Hayward of the Blacksticks sees them mount their first attack of the game. With Mark Knowles with the ball for Australia. Very experienced player. Russell Ford's in there as well. As Kookaburras just feeling around the pitch at the moment. Liam de Jong in defence. Ockenden with the skipper's armband, the local boy. Knife fires a lovely ball into attack there for Jason Wilson. And the New Zealand defence on that occasion really called to attention for the first time in the match. And Sean, Eddie Ockenden wearing the captain's armband tonight. Nice gesture, captaining the side in front of his home crowd. Lovely precision pass there from him.
Yeah, definitely. Eddie's been in the group for quite a few years now. I think it's been about 6 years since he's been playing. He's still quite young, so he's captained the team in the past. But it's great to see him in front of his local friends and family get a go.
Yeah, New Zealand under some pressure here, repelling the early forays of Australia, who are going to attack again. And that's a good play there by Jason Wilson, reading the pass well. And for New Zealand, it's Dean Cousins. And he's trying to control the defence for the Blacksticks, and in the end the ball goes out off the stick of Andy Hayward. But Australia quick to reply, and relieving foul there sees the New Zealanders through Dean Cousins take their time. Steady, hectic opening for them, and they move into attack, but they can't trap the ball there, and Australia is on the go again. Good play there by Glenn Simpson, controlling possession nicely. And it's back here with Michael Swan. And deep in defence there is Matthew Swan as well for the Australians. So the green and gold looking pretty good early. Matt Swan this time. Drives his past a little too hard. And not even the considerable skill there of Wilson for Australia can latch onto that pass. And New Zealand, Sean, is under some pressure yet again.
Yeah, I definitely like what I see early. This is what we do very well, push up and just put the defence under pressure and cause turnovers and score goals. Obviously using Jason Wilson as a real focal point, and rightly so. He's a very good player who really sort of burst onto the scene last year, absolutely dominated the Champions Trophy and played well at Delhi at the Commonwealth Games, so good to see he's in early touch early on.
Liam de Jong a moment ago, organising defences. New Zealand working to attack now. That's a good run there, left of the net, but nice defence from the Kookaburras. Just relieves the pressure. New Zealand with their first serious attack of the game, penetrating the circle, but Australian defence equal to the task so far. Glenn Simpson, lovely pass down the right wing. But Glenn Simpson as well, he's also there. And New Zealand, in what's been a bright opening so far, having to be alert for these rapid Australian breakouts. And the Blacksticks, and that's Dean Cousins, key part of their defence. Pitch is looking fantastic. Well, the surrounds look great. Lovely centre here in Hobart as New Zealand surge forward. Down the main grandstand wing, which is nicely populated tonight on a chilly work night. Still 0-0. About 5 minutes of play in the first of this best of three Oceania Cup series. For Australia, there's Butterini, one of the co-captains of this Kookaburras squad, making his first mark on the game. But New Zealand break out through Stephen Jennis down the right wing, and his pass not trapped all that well by Nick Wilson, but they keep the ball in play. And Australia's defence certainly up to the task so far. In the middle of it all is Jamie Dwyer at the moment. What a powerhouse he is. There's Butterini. Foul against New Zealand. Australia just taking their time as they build up to attack. In defence there, Fergus Kavanagh, what a good player the Western Australian is. He passes across to Matthew Swan. Kavanagh in the middle of defence, sizing up his options. Back to Matthew Swan. And this is good ball control by the Australians, just creeping up on the New Zealand defence, which is looking a little stressed at the moment. Here's Australia now working towards the circle. It goes out here to Jamie Dwyer. Nice control. Clever pass inside. Flicked in the inward there by Kieran Govers. But on that occasion, Sean, after a sustained attack from Australia, the New Zealanders' defence held fast.
Yeah, it's great to see Jamie Dwyer involved there, and that's why he's a 4-time World Player of the Year. His control, the way he worked into the circle. It's just great to see him back and playing. And listen, we've had all the attack early, and it'd be a great reward to get a goal here and go one up.
So the chance for the Australians here. Russell Ford there, wearing number 10. Just have a look at this Australian battery. Eddie Ockenden there, watching things very closely. Russell Ford. And a nice variation there with good defence by New Zealand. Well taken corner there for the Australians, but New Zealand once again withholding the early foray. It was Chris Chiriello who struck the ball, and that Australian side, Sean Anderson, has worked a few of those penalties in their time, and it was Chiriello's strike wasn't too bad, and New Zealand would be feeling pretty happy to be still 0-0, I would have thought, perhaps at this stage of the game, but a long way to go, of course. Butterini traps it for Australia. And he gets it as far as McAleese for New Zealand. It's with Hopping. And they're down the right wing now, the Kiwis. Blair Hilton couldn't control the ball. And this very steady Australian defence with Fergus Kavanagh holding tight. Butterini has the ball taken off him. New Zealand into attack. Left-handed shot. It's a goal! Hugo Inglis trapped the ball from Matthew Butterini, and with a lovely left-handed strike, puts the Kiwis 1-0 up. Well, that was against the run of play, Sean Anderson, but what a great opportunistic bit of play there by Hugo Inglis of the Blacksticks.
Yeah, the boys obviously be disappointed with that, caught napping a little bit, but credit to New Zealand as a cracking goal, and unfortunately 1-0 down, but I still think we're having our fair share, and I expect us to respond pretty strongly, hopefully with a goal sooner rather than later.
So, against the run of play, Australia are 1-0 down in the first game of the Oceania Cup series. That'll give them a wake-up call. I thought they'd been playing pretty well. They've been pretty sharp. But the New Zealanders on the break took their chance, and I reckon Michael Butterini will be sweating on that one for a while. Now here's Chiriello with the ball. His trademark ponytail. Good defence there. It's back with Fergus Kavanagh. Australia moving with intent with Patterson. And it's over the byline, and we'll see the New Zealanders work it out of their defensive zone through Blair hopping. That's with Dean Cousins. There's the nice run down the right-hand wing by the redhead Ben Collier. That's a good run by the Blacksticks. Wouldn't they love a second now? And they work into attack yet again. Australian defence working hard. And it's cleared out here through Simon Orchard for the Kookaburras. And they'll go down the main grandstand wing. Good run here by Orchard. Very good run. In it goes to Patterson. And New Zealand with Bradley Shaw relieving the defence. Number 28 for Australia there is Keel Brown, defender. He's played 91 matches for the Kookaburras. New Zealand looking good here with Simon Child. Promising run down the left wing for them. Inside the circle he goes, but the defensive press there from Liam de Jong keeps him at bay. And the New Zealanders press on. There's Collier passing back to Shaw. This is good work by the Kiwis. Very good play by the Blacksticks. And Australia trying to break away on defence. Once again, the ball trapped well there by Hilton. And plenty of yellow shirts on that occasion. With Australia moving out through Jason Wilson. That was a nice sustained passenger play. Sean standards very high tonight. Both sides looking sharp.
Yeah, I guess they've gained confidence from that early goal, no doubt. But I still think in the circle we've shown some pretty good composure and haven't given away any corners yet. And despite challenging the score, but I think we're still in control of the game.
Good play there by Chiriello under Wilson. And Australia look very dangerous there. There's a strong strike down the grandstand wing. Australia upping the tempo here. As they slide into attack. Getting close to the circle. And it goes, and that was Knowles. He had the position right, just right. So couldn't trap the ball. So signs that the Australians, who haven't played a lot of hockey this year, just working into their combinations. New Zealand through Wilson. And through goes Knowles again in the number 9 for Australia. Back here for Orchard. And there's the one and only Jamie Dwyer patrolling that right wing with menace. Collier's there for the Blacksticks. Orchard again. Long play. Of course, no goal there. You can't score from that far out. And New Zealand with the 1-0 lead. Bringing out a defence again. Quite a good crowd in tonight, actually. The conditions are by no means friendly. And they're enjoying this contest so far. There's the local boy, Eddie Ockenden. What a credit he is to the Tasmanian hockey system. As the Australians move forward, there's another surging run there by Simon Orchard. But Sean, New Zealand, if they're playing well on the break and the defence is pretty solid at the moment.
Yeah, we're definitely getting our chances. Going back to that last one, Mark Knowles would have absolutely loved that. He hasn't scored too many goals in his career. I think it's good. We haven't panicked, obviously. We're still playing quite well and breaking down in the circle. We just need to put it in the back of the net and hopefully carry on from there. But no, so far New Zealand have done a very good job in defence, and it's up to us to get past it. Now they're in front of the scoreboard, so it's up to us to take some more chances.
There's Keel Brown. Back it goes to Liam de Jong. Such a fixture in defence. 257 games so far, and counting. Who knows how many he might have racked up by the London Games next year in 10 months' time. Australia with Ockenden. Looking dangerous. That's a phenomenal tally. Jamie Dwyer, 254. De Jong, 257. I mean, Sean, I guess with all the lead-up matches and so on, these players may yet nudge the 300 game mark.
Yeah, certainly. As I said, this year's been pretty quiet for us, but certainly over the next 10 months, it's really going to ramp up. And hopefully a few of these guys gone beyond London, they're still showing they can play quite a bit. Particularly guys like De Jong and Dwyer. So it'd be nice to get into the 300 mark, but I think I guess we'll see what happens. If they win a gold medal, they might want to hang it up. But if they don't, then they might go on. So we'll wait and see.
A lot of experience With New Zealand working their way out of defence now through Shane McAleese. And Bradley Shaw with the ball at his stick at the moment. And here come the Blacksticks now. They lead 1-0. But Australia, I think it's fair to say, have had the better of the attack. New Zealand, an opportunistic goal to Hugo Inglis at the 8-minute mark. There's Collier, the redhead. They're working their way down that grandstand when it's a long searching pass. And Budarini's there for Australia. New Zealand through Jenis. But Budarini with a tap away to Mark Knowles. Gets Australia moving again. There's Wilson. And flick pass from Wilson to Simon Orchard. Controls the ball first time on the stick. That's class. And it goes into the circle. He was looking for Wilson again. But the formidable form of Dean Cousins for New Zealand repelled that attack. And Eddie Ockenden tries to flick one into the circle just then. He's there with it again. And, oh, that's just... How did that not go in, Sean? I thought Ockenden had a strike on goal there, but good work by the New Zealand keeper. And they maintain this 1-0 lead. But with Australia looking very threatening, you do wonder how long they can sustain that margin.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, the amount of penetrations that we've had in the circle, you'd think it's only a matter of time before we score, and that was a great play by Eddie. Then I was almost out of my seat clapping it in, but obviously didn't go in. So, listen, it'd be great to get one sooner rather than later. So, hopefully apply a bit of pressure to New Zealand, and hopefully the floodgates open up. But so far, they're doing a very good job, and as I said before, it's up to us to take some chances now because we need to score and they just need to defend. So we'll see how they go.
It's been very entertaining so far. We just saw a run by Nick Wilson of the Blacksticks. And here's Matthew Swan with the ball for Australia. Simon Orchard, long limbs of his, quite distinctive, lobs the ball into the circle. And that's quite a dangerous play. And the New Zealand keeper, in the end, had to just repel that one. And to watch it very closely is Eddie Ockenden getting involved now. Wilson for New Zealand. Well, nothing's happening with too much time to spare for the All Blacksticks. Hopping. But they're organised enough and they move into attack now. Lovely strike across the face of goal for the Kiwis, and then they strike it wide. That was a good build-up from them. Stephen Jenis, lovely play on the break there by the New Zealanders. And Jenis' shot just a little wide. He had plenty of time to size it up, and the goalkeeper certainly had it covered. Budarini for Australia. Swan. Orchard. Simpson. Once again, Australia threatening. Just haven't quite delivered the final punch yet. So the goalkeepers tonight, Sean, they've been pretty impressive and they've had a bit of work to do.
Yeah, certainly. I guess from an Australian point of view, Burgers obviously let a goal in, but it was absolutely a cracking shot, and there wasn't too much he could do about that. He was sort of left in the lurch a bit, and even that last play then, he was left on his own. So I'm not sure how happy he'll be with the boys at the moment, but certainly New Zealand's keeper's been under the pump and has done a very good job. Can he continue that? I hope not from a Hockey Australia point of view, but we'll see how we go.
Yeah, Nathan Burgers in goal tonight for Australia, 32 years of age, he's played 70 games for the Kookaburras. Yeah, he's had a bit of work to do. I think might have been as surprised as anyone when Hugo Inglis put away that breakout goal for the Blacksticks. Certainly no sense of any panic in the Australian camp at the moment. Controlling the tempo. They've got a bit of work to do to adjust the scoreboard. And there's Jamie Dwyer down the grandstand wing. Eddie Ockenden looking to break inside. He's with the ball again. Falls here for Brown. Kavanagh. It's with Swan. And Swan's ball goes into the path. Oh, how did that not go in? That was Glenn Simpson. And that's superb work by the New Zealand goalkeeper. Australia again. Glenn Simpson was right on the goal and he got a good piece of the ball, but the New Zealander in question, Stephen Graham, repelled that beautifully. Jamie Dwyer's with the ball again. The Blacksticks holding a 1-0 lead against the odds. They're into attack again on the break. Berger, comes out to meet the ball there, timed it nicely, and Blair Hilton there for the Blacksticks. Sean didn't quite time his run as well as he could have.
No, and Berger's let him know he was there. But just going back to the New Zealand goalkeeper, Cole Pontifex, he's been absolutely out of the pump, and for mine, he's definitely man of the match at the moment. If he can continue this up, we're going to struggle because he's absolutely been everywhere. You like to think after all the penetrations we've had that a goal will come sooner rather than later. But so far, he's definitely on his game.
Yes, I call it as the Steve Graham earlier. He's, of course, the sub-keeper tonight. Kyle Pontifex played 127 matches for New Zealand so far. Hopping for the Blacksticks into Collier. Back it goes to Child. Buttarini for Australia. Nice work there for Australia by Jamie Dwyer. And the pass inboard there from Matt Swan. A little heavy. Nice atmosphere here tonight. Despite the drizzle, people are really absorbed by this contest. Buttarini, one of the co-captains, to the grandstand side. And the pass there for Glenn Simpson. Didn't give the Australian player too much chance. Swan. Matthew Swan of Australia. Hope you're enjoying our broadcast on the Hockey Australia website as we see Australia missing by the smallest of margins. Jason Wilson that time. He threw his head back as that ball just skimmed past the outside post. Nothing in that one. And New Zealand, it must be said, living a little dangerously here. Still leading 1-0. But Australia doing a lot of attacking. Andy Hayward, the big defender, with the headband. The ball finds its way towards Shea McAleese of the Blacksticks. He goes inboard. And the Australian defence equal to the task there. And Nathan Berger's just having a chat to his defensive players, organising themselves. And New Zealand will have a pretty handy opportunity to attack here as we move towards the latter stages of the first half of this first game of the Oceania Cup Series. Both these teams are qualified for the London Olympics, but these are not practice matches. There's rankings points at stake here. As the ball just goes out of play there from New Zealanders, and Australia will build up again. Australia certainly a bit more fluent in their build-up, Sean, and New Zealand like to play on the break. Some good, strong defenders, but it's a bit of a 1-2 game where Australia plays a nice sort of tempo. And here we go with New Zealand. I shouldn't speak too soon, of course. Commentators curse with Blair Hilton. And they're looking for goal number 2 right now. Yes, Sean, so the Australian a bit more fluent, but New Zealand with a well-organised game plan.
Yeah, they're definitely getting us on the rebound, which is a bit of a concern. Luckily, our defenders have been up to it. Chris Sorelli's playing quite a good game. So, as I said, we're definitely having more of the ball and more of the circle penetrations. But so far, I haven't been able to score, which is disappointing. I'm not sure who's getting more frustrated, me or the players, to be honest. But in saying that, there's still a long way to go in this game. And I guess the longer it goes on, hopefully the more chances we're going to have and the more chance we have to score.
Australia again into attack with New Zealand defending resolutely, and they break out of attack again. Sean.
Yeah, still in the first half here, and disappointing that we're 1 goal down. But as I said, we're definitely getting more penetrations, and particularly some of our better players are playing well. As I said, great to see Jamie Dwyer back in the side and getting a bit of the ball. Eddie Ocken has been very good, and strikers like Mark Patterson and Jason Wilson have also been pretty active. So, chance for another goal here from a corner. New Zealand unhappy about it, but we'd like to put one away here and get level and hopefully go on from there.
Well, Sean, Australia hold the lead, but here's another penalty corner, and I wonder what the battery will come up with on this occasion. So it was Chiriello with the shot on the previous penalty corner. And it's with him again, and he's was left. He was high. I think New Zealand has had hearts in mouths there. But once again, Australia not quite getting the ball on target. And when the ball is on target, well, it's that man, Kyle Pontifex, who's repelling the Australians very successfully so far. Shea McAleese organising the Blacksticks defence. And, that wasn't too far away from the stride of Blair Hilton. So as we get close to the half-hour mark, New Zealand hold the lead 1-0. Opportunistic pass there from Phil Burrows, who plays with Auckland. 259 caps for Phil Burrows, a real fixture on the international scene. Reassuring presence for the New Zealanders in the midfield. Looking forward to an Olympics campaign in London next year. Now here's New Zealand, the Blacksticks. Blair Tarrant. It's back to Dean Cousins. Defence is pretty good for Australia there. Through Eddie Ockenden. Carrying his weight down back. As New Zealand into attack. And the opportunity there fell for their busy striker Blair Hilton, but he's copped a nasty knock there. He was in good position, and it wouldn't a second goal from New Zealand. Sean Anderson throw a cat amongst the pigeons, and on that occasion it wasn't that far away from happening.
Yeah, no, definitely would. If they could go 2-0 up at half time, they'll certainly take a lot of confidence and give us more work to do. In saying that, I really don't feel like a goal's too far away from us, and I apologise to all the New Zealanders watching it there for my biased commentary, but I do feel that we're actually still playing quite good hockey and we haven't panicked yet, so but it would be nice to square one away before half-time.
Sean Anderson, Hockey Australia, with Peter Newlands and Sean Anderson at the State Hockey Centre in Hobart at this splendid facility. Australia into attack now. Left shot. Oh, Mark Knowles. He was dancing there. But the timing wasn't quite right, and he scooped it high. But I tell you what, he was in plenty of space. And there's that man, Kyle Pontifex. He's earning his wage tonight. He's got a lot on his plate. But these burly New Zealand defenders just keep churning it out. Andy Hayward there. Here's Buttarini for Australia. The blonde hair. Into the circle it goes. But black bodies there. Buttarini falls for Orchard. And Sean, Australia, as time goes on, getting more and more of these really good scoring opportunities. Liam de Jong. Oh, the pass had a bit too much weight. And I'm just wondering, Sean, if we are seeing a side that's just not, for all its fluency and all its class, with Jason Wilson there, not trapping that ball from Orchard. Just showing signs of a team that hasn't been playing at this competitive level all that much through the course of 2011. Eddie Ockenden now gets the ball into the circle. Ockenden's there second time, and Wilson was all there as well. But, as has been the pattern in this game of hockey so far, the All Black New Zealand defence and those All Black shirts of theirs equal to the task. Here is Child. Long pass, and more opportunity late in the first half for New Zealand.
No, just go back to your comment. I agree, and as we've stated in the media, this is really our first big tournament for the year. Other than the last couple of weeks, it's been a good 12 months until we've actually been together as a group post the Commonwealth Games. So, yeah, I think you are right. I might be seeing a little bit of rust, but I think as the game goes on, those things will get better. This is our third corner coming up, so you'd like to think that we'd put one away, although in saying that, Sorello's not on the pitch, so interesting to see who takes it, possibly Matt Butterini, or they might go for some other sort of variation, so we'll see what they do.
Well, Chiriello's taken the shots so far. Liam de Jong striding up to pick up the ball. This is penalty corner number 3 for Australia. I can recall many years ago, Sean. I'll finish the story in a moment. It's one Australian hockey fans probably don't want to be reminded of. De Jong. Strike on goal there from Kieran Govers. Once again it goes wide. And New Zealand hang on to this 1-goal lead. Can Australia peck it back before half time? New Zealand would be desperate to go to the break with the advantage. Yes, I'm thinking about the 1976 gold medal game at the Montreal Olympics. Australia went in as red-hot favourites, and I can recall watching all those penalty shots taken by the Aussies on that day, and they couldn't quite get the ball in the net, and New Zealand hung on for a win that I'm sure is still talked about on that side of the Tasman. Long time ago now, the Montreal Games, with New Zealand and Australia playing here as well. There's Brown. Back to Liam de Jong. Steady build up here. Is this the one for Australia? Once again, working into the circle. Eddie Ockenden's there. Using that stride of his, that little burst of acceleration. What a class player he is. And it goes over the sideline now. And New Zealand, I reckon, will be pretty happy to soak up some time. With the formidable presence there of Steve Edwards in defence for New Zealand. Dean Cousins. Blair Hopping. Shea McAleese. Nick Wilson. Good play from him. And Australia just going to work hard against the New Zealanders here. Wilson. There's a chance for Australia late in the half. Trapped nicely there by Dean Cousins. Down the grandstand's wing they go. Although a nice switch of play brings it back towards Bradley Shaw. And a diving bit of defence there from Kieran Govers. Sees the ball go out of play. Cousins. Hopping. Blair Hopping. Long, speculative pass from him. Well, the weather's held off so far. Nice brisk evening. A little chilly. And Australia moving to attack again. Once again inside the circle. How many of these attacks can the Blacksticks repel? Well, there's another one down with Bradley Shaw bringing the ball out of here, out of defence for New Zealand. It falls towards Hugo Inglis, the goal scorer. He moves into the circle again. Good play by Inglis. Oh, that's almost goal number 2 for him. Great acceleration from the 20-year-old who's played 60 games so far. He looks a bit of a talent, Sean. 60 games at the age of 20. And what a live wire he is. Hugo Inglis, the goal scorer, almost had number 2 in the bag. deep into the first half. So yes, certainly New Zealand with some quality in defence, and the live wire Inglis, bit of a handful tonight.
Yeah, certainly. Very similar to the women's team as well. Very good scoring options. I think Nathan Burgess might be asking some questions at halftime with his teammates about how many fast breaks that New Zealand have had and sort of putting him under the pump. As I said, if they go up 2-0, it's going to make it extremely difficult for us to get back in the game. So, as I said, he'll definitely be asking some questions and wanting to tighten that part up of the Kookaburras defence.
Comments from Sean Anderson from Hockey Australia. Peter Newlands with you in commentary. In Hobart, Game 1 of the Oceania Cup Series. 1-0 to New Zealand is the scoreline. It's been a very entertaining first half of hockey, I've got to say. With Steve Edwards' pass there, a little strong. And Chiriolo for Australia now will bring it away into attack maybe one more time before the half-time break. Wasn't to be on that occasion. Here's Australia. Once again looking dangerous. New Zealand having to work it away. Russell Ford was there for the Australians. There's Mark Patterson. Simon Child for New Zealand in the number 6. And it's been the story of the game so far. A nice build-up by Australia. Robust defence by the New Zealanders as they look to play on the break. Playing down the far side wing. Trapped by Matthew Swan. Swan glances up. It's gone towards Mark Patterson. There's always one or two black shirts representing the Blacksticks of New Zealand at this stage of the game. Players checking out the time clock, I think, Sean. There is Swan. And that's the half-time break with an unlikely scoreline, it's got to be said, with New Zealand leading Australia by 1-0, courtesy of a Hugo Inglis strike after 8 minutes. He took the ball off Matthew Puttarini and put a nicely taken goal away. The 20-year-old from the Southern Districts Club in New Zealand really was on his game there. And Australia now have got a bit of work to do, some thinking to do at half-time. But Sean Anderson, from a Hockey Australia perspective, the first half's come and gone. Australia maybe will count themselves a little unlucky not to be at least equal in this match. And with plenty of time to come in the series, I don't think there'll be too much panic in the Australian camp at half-time.
No, I mean, they're a very professional team. They're very well coached by Rick Charlesworth, who's a legendary coach in Australian history. So, yeah, listen, they'll take a lot of positives out of that, to be honest. They had far more circle penetrations, far more shots on goal. They just couldn't score. And to be honest, a team of their quality, they're going to start putting them in the back of the net at some stage. So, but in saying that, credit to New Zealand, they've had their fair share of attacking as well. And the goal they scored is an absolute cracking goal. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how it plays in that second half. If the floodgates open up for the Kookaburras and they start putting 1 or 2 away, things could really open up. But in saying that, as I mentioned throughout the first half, New Zealand are in the box seat now that they just have to defend. So we'll see what happens in the second half.
Second half of Game 1 of the Oceania Cup, Australia v New Zealand in Hobart. And a somewhat surprising scoreline at the halfway mark of this game, with Australia down 1-0 after an excellent strike by the New Zealand prodigy Hugo Inglis after 8 minutes. But it's been very entertaining so far. New Zealand withheld many an Australian attack in the first half of that game, but they were good enough to hang on to their lead, and the score stands at 1-0 in favour of New Zealand. So I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope people watching through the Hockey Australia website have done as well. But there you go, the Aussies straight away. Simon Orchard, it's been a factor through the course of the game. Russell Ford into attack, and And New Zealand, I have to say, their defence has been well organised and dogged through the first half of the game. But I fancy Sean Anderson that they'll need another goal, at least another goal, to give themselves a real chance of getting a result here tonight.
Yeah, no, certainly I agree. The way into their fourth corner, we've had, as I've mentioned a couple of times now, far more circle penetration. So I wouldn't think that they'd better hold on to a 1-0 win, but you never know in hockey. In a low-scoring game, anything can happen. So once again, Sorello's not out there, so interesting. You see, he takes it. Could be Butterini, could be some other sort of variation. So we'll see what happens here.
The fourth penalty corner of the game so far for Australia, early in the second half. Butterini it is, and it's rebounds over the goal there for the Blacksticks. Butterini got that shot low, and he got a good piece of it, but those Blacksticks defenders, they know how to get a body on the line, and they break out again. 1-0 to New Zealand. And we've had a couple of minutes play in the second half. What's Australia up to here with Russell Ford, Simon Orchard. Glenn Simpson's been lively. Butterini. Ooh. Well, there's a sign of aggression there from the Aussies. And who else but Kyle Brown. Good personality. Bearing down on 100 games for Australia is Kyle Brown. This is game number 92. Simon Orchard there. Australia moving up into attack. Mark Knowles. Orchard again. What is it about Jamie Dwyer, Sean, that makes him such a special player? There he is. Look at his balance, low, quick. Butterini strikes wide to the right.
I think you just saw it. Very quick. His ball handling abilities is unlike anyone else in the world. He, very rarely gives up the ball, and if he gets anywhere within the circle, is always going to be a very big chance to score. So he's very hard to match up on. And just quickly, just want to say thanks for everyone for all the messages on Twitter, getting a lot of good support, and it's really important that we get as many people watching this as possible. The more people will watch, the more chance we'll have it happening in the future. So please pass on the link to all your friends, and let's get as many people watching as possible.
Do a bit of retweeting. That's a good way to get your message out there. Yeah, it's a phenomenon, the Twitter. Now for New Zealand, in the headband, it's Andy Hayward. Shea McAleese, where's number 25? Patient build-up. Oh, Ockenden has a tumble. That looked a bit awkward, didn't it? Maybe just for a moment, a bit of a scare might have gone through the Australian camp. It was just an awkward fall there from Eddie Ockenden. No danger, no harm done, of course, as it turns out. Sorello. New Zealand patiently building up into attack. Hopping. McAleese. Is this their chance for number 2? That was a nice bit of work there by Nick Wilson. And Nathan Burgess. Got to be on the alert here. You go the Blacksticks into the circle, or the D as it's sometimes known as. Oh, lovely control there by Eddie Ockenden. He's a formidable player, isn't he? The Tasmanian. Sorello. Looks good for Australia tonight. Here's New Zealand. In defence, there's Brad Shaw. Interesting, the New Zealanders are their defensive players are quite big men. They're sort of tall and thick set. You almost get the feeling that every second person in New Zealand is built like a back row forward. But the Australian defence a bit lighter in frame, but just different styles. But the Blacksticks certainly possess those trademark New Zealand characteristics of hard, competitive play. As Australia move into attack again, there's Ockenden. Across the circle it goes now. Once again, good New Zealand defence, but Australia building up now. Cirillo finds a teammate in Swan. And it's over the baseline. Still 1-0 to New Zealand. Floodlights are taking full effect here, but it's dry, that's the main thing. And the pitch is of a very high standard. Shea McAleese gets it away there for Simon Child. Jason Wilson. Australian build-up looking pretty good, but New Zealand have got their tails up here, Sean. They're playing with real endeavour and some confidence now. Eddie Ockenden. That's what's the skills of a master. It goes over the baseline and Australia build up for another attack. New Zealand 1, Australia 0. Sean Anderson.
As you mentioned, New Zealand have started this half very well. They'll obviously be very keen to score another goal or two, but the defence is holding up very well. But in saying that, I'll still put my positive hat on, and I think I should keep talking because every time I talk, you seem to get a penalty corner, so maybe I'll just take over for the rest of the game. But no, Cirillo's out there for this one. Interesting, Luke Dorner's obviously out injured. He's sort of our main man from the penalty corners, so I'm wondering how he's feeling about watching this and having so many corners go to waste so far, but hopefully we can get one across here.
Well, by my count, Sean, it'll be number 5. And what would you regard as a respectable conversion rate from penalty corners in terms of 5?
I think the overall rule is, it's around 30%. So I think that we're due based on that.
Okay, so 30%. So 1 in 3. Number 5 for Australia in the penalty corners. Cirillo this time can't get his first shot on goal. And New Zealand are going to have to reset. There's a slight foul as the Australian battery organised that shot on goal. The Australian team gathers in a huddle. I would have thought if they come away with none from 5, they're going to be able to start. There's going to be a level of frustration creep in. You only get so many opportunities. I still sense that Australia's got it within them to win this game. But there'll be a level of anxiety building up now. Cirillo, and it's repelled by the player of the match so far, the man of the moment, the amazing Kyle Pontifex, the capital goalkeeper. But Australia will get another crack at it. How long can this go on? So I guess little infringements in the circle, and New Zealand have to reconvene. Liam de Jong over the ball now. Cirillo it is, and well, all the New Zealanders in the audience can just take a big deep breath now. There's been that was set 3 times, that penalty corner, and 3 times the scoreline was not adjusted as the red-headed Collier takes it away for the Blacksticks. And they can just stretch their legs a bit here and get away from the penalty corner area for the moment. So none from 5 for Australia. in penalty corners. Ball lobbed into attack. Collier. This is Andy Hayward. Onto the skipper for tonight. Phil Burrows, the veteran. New Zealand in the circle. No real sign of a shot on goal there. Blair Hilton was the player in question. Now here we go with New Zealand. Collier. Shaw. Australia. Down the grandstand wing. They go. But defence here by New Zealand looking good. And Nathan Berger traps the ball and kicks it back in the direction of his teammate Fergus Kavanagh. Matt Swan. Kavanagh. Orchard. Buttarini. Patient build up by Australia. Well, Sean, we've had, I'll tell you how long we've had in the second half so far, 12 minutes. So the clock, I'm sure these highly trained players aren't going to be watching the clock yet, but the minutes just ebbing away here as New Zealand go ahead again. Matt Lulia. It's here with Blair hopping. Inglis. Collier in the circle. Matt Swan controlling and play. And down the grandstand wing it goes. But New Zealand come up with possession. Steady build up from them. Back of the defence is Blair hopping. Eddie Ockenden running a lot of miles tonight. Very fit player for Australia. Pulling his weight in defence. Ball breaks away there for Matt Swan. Collier. Collier again. He's played well tonight. Wilson. Nick Wilson for New Zealand. And they go into attack inside the circle. That's a bit of danger there for the Australians. And Jamie Dwyer has to tidy up for the Kookaburras, and he flies down the open side wing. So Australia, Sean, with another scoring opportunity. Sure, it'll be Jamie Dwyer from the 23-yard line. Deft play inside the D, but there's black shirts everywhere as Inglis runs it away for the Blacksticks. And New Zealand still leads 1-0. It's been a very interesting contest, to say the least. Here's Australia. Cirillo waiting for a shot on goal. There's Orchard. So some relief here for New Zealand, and it's taking on an interesting complexion now. Is this game, Sean Anderson? New Zealand hold on to that lead, and they're hanging on to it for dear life.
Yeah, as you said, the chances are still coming, but we haven't been able to convert yet. And I can see the coach, Rick Charlesworth, sort of prancing up the side of the pitch, getting a little bit agitated. So the boys will be keen to make sure that they get one away to make sure he's happy. But in saying that, I still think we're playing quite good hockey. I don't think they'll be hitting the panic button yet, but as you say, time's working against us. So hopefully one sooner rather than later.
Been impressed by Sean Collier tonight for New Zealand. Been one of their better players. What's been a good team performance so far, but they've got 20 minutes to play out yet. And Australia will play this one out until the final seconds. And they'll be dangerous all that time. Jamie Dwyer. Well, that's a nice play. That is there for Australia. That was, of course, with Swan. And it's over the sideline. Well, the crowd that's here tonight, and it is a good crowd. The Tasmanian cricket captain George Bailey tweeted earlier that he's loving the skills, not so much the chilly weather. George is a guy that enjoys ball games of all types, a big Carlton supporter, and he's here tonight in the crowd. Here is New Zealand, looking a little dangerous. That's nice defensive work there for Australia by Mark Knowles. Repels that New Zealand attack. Botterini. Wilson. Wilson still going. Carries it over the baseline. And it's a corner. Oh no, Australia's with possession. Orchard. Into the face of goal. And that was, of course, played from outside the 23-yard line. Unlike soccer, where if you're clever enough, you can kick a goal from the other goalkeeper to goalkeeper. It doesn't happen often. But, one of the differences in the rules, of course, in the game. Australia. There's Govers. Govers. Oh, Pontifex. He's done it again. Butterini. Is this Australia's time? Maybe now. Across the face of goal. It's shot through there by Glenn Simpson. And New Zealand work it away again. They hold that 1-0 lead. There's Wilson. Wilson with a bit of room to move here. This could be dangerous for Australia. Nick Wilson. Still with the ball. And the Aussies through Swan. Oh, there was an opportunity for Jason Wilson. He somehow had his stick in the wrong position. A New Zealand player is down injured. It's Blair hopping. And the chances, Sean Anderson, just becoming, I think, no less frequent. But there's just an urgency now. And you really do wonder if this New Zealand defence can keep this up for another 20 or so minutes.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm getting a little bit agitated, jumping around in my seat a little bit, desperate for the boys to score. But I definitely think that the New Zealanders will owe Kyle a couple of beers tonight, because it's been absolutely sensational. Without him there, the scoreboard could be quite different. So, yeah, as I say, I don't think they'll be hitting the panic button yet. But as we've said a couple of times now, as time goes on, better for New Zealand. So I'd like to think we can get one in the next couple of minutes. Fingers crossed.
This is the first game of the Oceania Cup series, Australia v New Zealand, best of 3 series. Both of these teams have qualified for the London Olympics next year. And we move it in here through Jennings for New Zealand, and that was an opportunity. So a bit of anxiety now in the play of either side. New Zealand taking a good fist of this game so far. About a quarter of an hour to go. And in the context of this game at this level, that's a very long time for the Australians. There's Kavanagh, the West Australian. Orchard. Orchard again. Simpson. There's Andy Hayward, who's been very steady tonight. Good man to have in your corner. The Midlands man. 109 caps to his name. The New Zealand skipper, Phil Burrows. He's probably seen a few of these games in his time. 1998 was the last time New Zealand beat Australia in men's hockey. We could be going back as far as what, Sean? The KL Commonwealth Games? Oh, there was a shot on goal there for New Zealand from Phil Burrows. But Nathan Berger's been pretty solid, save for a lapse, not so much by Berger himself, but by the defender Butterini at the 8-minute mark that allowed New Zealander Hugo Inglis to score the goal. Berger's been good tonight. In fact, both goalkeepers have been outstanding. Now New Zealand with possession. Surely, Sean, the visitors won't settle for this 1-0 lead. The best possible way for them to get the result here is to get goal number 2. Then life might get a bit hard for the Australians. New Zealand now into the attacking D, across the face of goal. And here's an opportunity for the visitors. Sean Anderson.
Yeah, it's their first corner of the match. As you said, if it goes out to 2-0, yeah, we're going to have to really put the foot down. So, absolutely crucial play coming up here. This will be the first time that the boys will be tested by New Zealand from a corner situation. As you said, Berger's had a pretty good game, so I like to think we can get a stop here. But, yeah, as I said, absolutely crucial. If one goes in here, it's going to be really difficult for the Kookaburras.
Penalty corner for New Zealand. Their first of the match. Australia's had 5. So there was actually 7 for Australia with a couple of retakes. New Zealand's first. Now this really would be galling for Australia if they got 1 from 1. But there's a lot of work to do yet for the New Zealanders. Hayward strikes and it's a goal. That's 2 goals. And now Australia's under the pump. Well, there you go. The fortunes of sport. At the 22-minute mark of the second half, Andy Hayward slots away a penalty corner. And New Zealand, almost incredibly, have got a 2-0 lead. Sean Anderson.
Yeah, I guess, the scoreboard probably doesn't reflect the game at the moment, but all credit to New Zealand. They're the one putting in the back of the net and we're not. So there's still some time left, and the boys are definitely capable. You don't become the number 1 team in the world, if you're no good. But we'd certainly like to start putting a few away. With 7 corners we've had so far in this game, you'd hate to walk away disappointed knowing that you had all the play and just couldn't score. But looks like that's the way it's going at the moment, unless we can turn it around.
Well, that's amazing. Australia's had 7 setups at the penalty corner and hasn't got a goal from any of them. New Zealand's had 1 and it's got 1 goal. 2-0 New Zealand. 23-minute mark of the second half. So bearing down on the final 10 minutes. Can Australia score 2? I reckon, of course they can. But this New Zealand team has got its tail up. Sorello for Australia. Lobs it into attack. New Zealand playing with confidence now. There is Phil Burrows with the ball. Phil Burrows, the captain and veteran. Mark Knowles. It'll be fascinating to see the response of a champion here from Australia's point of view. Mark Patterson. There is Swan. (2-0) New Zealand. Not unbelievable, but somewhat surprising scoreline. But give this New Zealand team full credit so far. Coached by Shane McLeod. Helped out by Darren Smith and Sean Dancer. They've done a great job so far. But as the number 1 ranked team in the world shows here on the rebound, Australia into attack. Can New Zealand repel it this time? And no, they can't. Lovely goal by Russell Ford. And New Zealanders are livid. Sean Anderson, Russell Ford brings one back for the Aussies.
Yeah, clearly hit Rusty's body there. I think the umpire was blindsided and is conferring with the other umpire now, but I don't think he was in any better position to see it. But New Zealand obviously very upset and rightly so, and we'll see what happens with the 2 umpires talking here. Absolutely crucial, but if it's given a goal, there's still plenty of time, and the boys hopefully get on a bit of a roll. And no goal given there. As much as I like it to be given, I think it was the right decision in the end.
Well, that was a significant moment. New Zealand hangs on to this 2-goal advantage, and Australia's got to claw 2 back in 10 minutes. Ockenden now. And he had some space, but once again repelled by the Blacksticks. What will Australia's demeanour be, I wonder, after that decision? They go into attack again. I guess composure now is everything. Sorello. Phil Burrows. Reassuring presence for New Zealand at this stage of the game. Shea McAleese. Bradley Shaw. No real build-up there. It was a good sustained possession play by the Blacksticks, but there was no sign of any genuine shot on goal. And Australia with a bit of work to do here. But these Rick Charlesworth coached teams have a knack of finding their way home, don't they? All the good teams do. And New Zealand now might just be a little wary of just hanging on here and trying to defend. They've done a great job in playing on the counter-attack. I think as McAleese has possession, it's with Liam de Young. Back here for Wilson. New Zealand again with a good opportunity inside the circle, and here's another scoring opportunity for the New Zealand Blacksticks. Sean Anderson.
Yeah, well, if this one goes in, it's definitely all over. Aussie's not happy there, but I think it was a penalty corner. So, yeah, as I said, if it goes down 3-0, they'll obviously be disappointed, have some things to answer for to the coach. But in saying that, it's one of those games. I think that we'll look at the score sheet at the end, and we're going to see all the penetrations and all the penalty corners that we've had, and we'll scratch our head. But I still think we've seen some pretty decent signs from the Kookaburras, definitely compared to what we saw in our recent European tour, where we suffered some pretty heavy losses. So, even if they go down, I think that we're still seeing Jamie Dwyer make his comeback, and he's looked really good. We've seen Eddie Ockenden play a very good game, and Mark Knowles has come back from injury as well. So even if they go down, they'll take some things away from the game.
There's a slightly pessimistic tone in your summary there. Sean, here's penalty corner number 2. And it's Hayward with number 3 for New Zealand. And that means they're home, I reckon. Andy Hayward with a double. The big defender, number 5. What a night for him. What a night for the Blacksticks. And at the 28-minute mark of the second half, New Zealand now has got a 3-0 lead. They've taken every chance. Well, not every chance, but they've taken the chances that have come their way a lot better than the Australians have. And 3-0 with 7 to go. A long way back for the Australians. And New Zealand is now within sight of its first win over Australia at this level of hockey since 1998. Remarkable. Sean Anderson.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it's no reflection on New Zealand. They're a very good team. They're ranked 7th in the world, and to be honest, we actually should be higher ranked than that. The ranking system can be a bit slow, as we see Kookaburras having a shot there. But they're definitely an up-and-coming team. We do play quite often, given how close we obviously are to each other, and given that we're so far away from all the European countries, we tend to play each other more often than not. But no, as I said, definitely take my hat off. Very well-deserved win, and we'll see how the series plays out now. If the Kookaburras, want to fight back and hopefully, get a bit of respect back and lead out into the Champions Trophy in December.
Jamie Dwyer on the comeback from injury. Kevin Well, Australia's going to have to throw everything here at New Zealand. Buttarini into the attacking circle. But once again, this swarming, well-organised, committed New Zealand defence keeps Australia at bay. Wilson. Jason Wilson. But he's not up to it either. This is a best of 3 series. So whatever, I'm assuming Australia comes back in a big way on Saturday. Now this could well come down to a decider on Sunday afternoon, Sean, which might be a good thing for the local organisers if you want to take that spin on it.
No, certainly. We always get great support from down in Hobart. It's a very strong hockey state, and Eddie Okinen being the main man down here, I expect we get a bit of support around him for both the games on Saturday and Sunday. So definitely enjoy the online broadcast, but certainly if you're from Hobart, feel free to come down and watch it live.
This is number 8 for Australia, penalty corner. And not even this time. Amazing. Well, we might come back on Saturday and we might see 8 penalty shots with 4 goals go in. But tonight, it's been New Zealand that have organised themselves sufficiently to repel every Australian attack so far. But time is now the enemy for Australia. Just a few minutes to go. And I can't see Australia scoring 3 times in that 3.5 minutes to the left. Shirello. Kavanagh. Fergus Kavanagh, the West Australian. Kyle Brown. Or maybe the Australians are dreading what Rick Charlesworth's going to say to them in the dressing sheds afterwards. I think he's a pretty shrewd manager of teams, and I think he'll get a message through to them tonight. But plenty of time to make it up over the course of the weekend. New Zealand 3, Australia 0. And if this result stands, Sean, I'll be interested to see the response of the New Zealanders. Will they treat it like a little triumph in its own right? Yeah, I think there'll be some signs of genuine jubilation, which in its own way will be a mark of the status of the Australian team. A win over this outfit at any stage is one that's been very well earned, and this result, if it stands, has certainly been that for the Blacksticks. There's Swan. Simpson. A chance for Australia. I just don't like this 3-goal margin. Knowles. 2 goals? Yeah, I'm giving Australia a chance with a couple of minutes on the clock. 3, it gets hard. And of course, as the clock ticks towards the 35-minute mark, it's another penalty quarter to Australia. Well, maybe Rick Charlesworth will have the teams down to train, I think, tomorrow morning, Sean. Rick Charlesworth might just have them working on those penalty batteries. If I'm no judge, maybe he'll get them out an hour or so earlier to do so. It's a hard task, Master. Number 9 coming up as the rain falls in Hobart. Heavy cloud around the Hobart area tonight. Well, New Zealand are doing a great job here of maintaining a clean sheet. If you can repel 9 penalty corners in a night, maybe you are going to. Maybe it is your night. I'd say it is New Zealand's night, and a result built around sturdy defence, an enterprising attack, and well-organised penalty corners. New Zealand, they go ahead now with Andy Hayward. (3-0) to New Zealand. Goals to Hayward in the second half from the penalty corner at the 22nd and 25th minutes. And the opening goal against the run of play to Hugo Inglis. And here's New Zealand. They can get number 4 here. they go into attack. There's Nick Wilson. That's good pace displayed there for the Australians. And that was by Mark Knowles, of course. I'll tell you what, the crowd gets a good look at this, doesn't it? It's a good venue. The players are close to the action. It's good facilities for the spectators. It's a terrific setup. Here's forward for Australia. And New Zealand are now, I think, justified in running down the clock. It is Dean Cousins. Buttarini. Inside for Orchard. Mark Patterson. Couldn't quite trap that ball. Well, there it is. And New Zealand, Sean Anderson, somewhat subdued in celebration. A big high five there from Blair Hopping to the goalkeeper. And you've got to hand it to the New Zealand goalkeeper tonight. He was outstanding with the slightly unusual surname, Kyle Pontifex. He had a wonderful game. He and his defensive teammates repelled 9 Australian penalty corners. And the 2 penalty corners New Zealand were awarded, both resulted in goals, both taken by Andy Hayward. And if you throw in the goal by Hugo Inglis on the break of a slight defensive error from Matthew Buttarini at the 8-minute mark of the first half, you get a scoreline that counts up to 3. And that's a pretty convincing win for New Zealand over Australia in the first of this Oceania Cup series.